Third phase of state government's Community Choose Your Project initiative commences early next year. JDPC embarks on sensitization of flood-affected persons on harmonious coexistence. Suspected herdsmen kill 54-year-old man at Ureli, Delta State. And on the foreign scene, Russia seizes Ukrainian ship near annexed Crimea. Good morning and welcome to the news at 7. I am David Opopasili. Governor Willie Obiano says his administration will commence the third round of the 20 million naira Community Choose Your Project initiative by early next year. He disclosed this during the inauguration of an ultra-modern town hall collectively constructed by the people of Umbra in our North local government area. Correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo was there and now reports.
Governor Obiano maintained that his administration will continue to develop all parts of the state through the 20 million naira Community Choose Your Project initiative, commending the President General and the people of Umbra for the initiative. Governor Obiano, represented by his deputy, Dr. Nkemo Okeke, stressed the need for the communities and individuals to always assist government in development.
The government cannot do everything. This administration of Abokwe has a 20 million naira community project. But the government cannot do everything. That's where citizens, the stakeholders, members of the community, will look at something.
Earlier, the President General of the town, Chief Kelvin Obiebunam, said the town hall was built with the aim of strengthening the bond of unity amongst the people of the area, in addition to complementing the efforts of the present administration in developing the state, calling on the state government to assist them with good road network and construction of the proposed civic center.
The stakeholders of this community. The first thing I get
In a remark, the member representing Njukoka Constituency 1 in the State House of Assembly, Dr. Timothy Ifedi-Oramma, commended the team spirit of the people of Umbra in executing the project, calling on other communities in the state to emulate them. Some members of the community, including the Special Assistant to the Governor on Political Matters, Sir Anthony Ugoji, Chief Patrick Egolum, Chief Augustine Anike, and Mr. Kelvin Akunne, expressed the hope that the town hall will bind them together in love. The inauguration of the project, named Unity Hall, aimed at igniting the spirit of oneness among the people of Umbra, was fully attended by people from the 6 villages that make up the town, namely Irofolo, Diodo, Abadana, Obago, Uroji, and Ekwananyika from Umbra in Anocha Council area. I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
As part of their quest to create an atmosphere of peace, justice and fairness in the society, the Justice Development and Peace Commission, JDPC on the Archdiocese, has embarked on a sensitization program in Odepe and at Tani holding centers for flood-affected communities. The workshop, which was aimed at equipping and fortifying the displaced persons with the best idea, practices and knowledge to enable them accommodate especially the children, disabled and women amongst them, has over 1,000 affected persons in attendance. Valentine Mbadora completes the story.
The keynote speaker, Mr. Vitus Orebunam, who is also the JDPC Onitsha Regional Chairman, decried the acts of abuse and neglect by some male folks against the female gender and called on those involved in such acts to make amends, as everyone is equal before God. Mr. Orebunam commended the flood-affected persons in the camp as well as the camp officials for their good conduct, urging them to remain steadfast in God, as according to him, better days are yet to come. On his part, the JDPC program manager, Sir Frank Orangoba, noted that the idea was to give the children, women, and disabled a sense of belonging. He called on them to see themselves as one family, having lived together for some months, while reassuring them of continuous support to enable them get back on their feet. Expressing appreciation, one of the camp officials, Mr. Enebeli Idowu, who is also the youth leader of Odepe community, commended the efforts and approaches by the JDPC to ensure that the displaced persons have a better life. He called on the people in the holding centers to make judicious use of the money received from the JDPC by reinvesting in agriculture to enable them reintegrate in the society and live their normal lives. Some of the displaced persons, including Mrs. Rose Olisa from Atani and Chinenye Chukuma, appreciated JDPC for their support and encouragement and prayed for more blessings from God. From Atani Holding Center in Obaro Local Government Area, Valentine Umbra reporting for ABS News.
The 2018 Press Week of the State Council of the Nigerian Union of Journalists (NUJ) has kicked off with a short service at the Cathedral Church of St. Faith, Oka. Correspondent Chibuzo Bilike, who attended the church service, reports.
During the event, Governor Willie Obiano, represented by the Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Mr. Sidon Adinoba, while recounting various achievements of his administration, maintained that his government will continue to partner the church for enhanced development of the state. The governor commended the Anglican Church for providing succor to people displaced by flood, which he said is a clear mark of humanitarian service, which should be emulated by others.
We have a wonderful relationship with all the 9 bears of the Anglican faith in the States. There is no dispute whatsoever. There is only a minor controversy which is confined to only one diocese. That misunderstanding is being resolved, and in the next few days you will hear good news that will make Anambra State remain the most peaceful and the most united state in Nigeria.
In a remark, the state chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Mr. Emmanuel Ifesnachi, said that Press Week is an annual event, always affords the council the opportunity to assess its performance and chart a way forward. While wishing the State Council of the NUJ a fruitful Press Week, the Archdeacon of the Cathedral Church of St. Faith, Oka, and Vicar of the Church, Venerable Samuel Okonkwo, acknowledged the contribution of journalists to the society, urging them to remain steadfast in the discharge of their duties. Venerable Okonkwo used the opportunity to reassure Governor Willie Obiano of the prayers of the church at all times.
This group of activities of Nigerian Union of Journalists, at the end of that tunnel, good news will come out from that in Jesus' name.
Earlier in a sermon, Reverend Charles Chukwura cautioned Nigerians against having undue quest for materialism. He charged Nigerians to turn to God for solutions to a series of problems facing the country. The Secretary of the State Council of the NUJ, Mr. Emma Udaya, the Director of News and Current Affairs Department of the ABS, Mr. Gabe Opaleze, Controller of News at the Radio Nigeria Purity FM, Oka, Mr. Chris Obideri, Managing Director of Anambra Newspapers, Printing and Publishing Corporation, the Publishers of National Light, Sachuka Nnabife, a veteran journalist, Mr. Victor Agusiobo, were among those that attended the event. The event featured thanksgiving by the members of the NUJ family and prayers for the state and the nation. From Cathedral Church of St. Faith, Oka, Chibuzo Bidiki, ABS News.
Still on stories from the media industry, Radio Nigeria Purity 102.5 FM Oka's marked its 13th year anniversary with a call on government and wealthy individuals to always partner media organizations for optimal performance. The event, which took place at Emios House Complex, Oka, commenced with a public lecture on the role of the media in promoting probity, fairness and transparency during elections. Emmanuel Okonkwo has details.
The ceremony attracted media practitioners, captains of industry, government functionaries, as it exposed journalists on how best to cover election-related events. In an opening remark, the Zonal Director of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, Enugu National Station, Mr. Ken Okere, called on media organizations to always prioritize the welfare of their workers for enhanced performance.
We will give a training for all our content team on the guidelines of political coverage, because Radio has very strong guidelines emanating from the NBC rule, our Nigerian constitution, and in pursuing worldwide standards.
Earlier in a lecture on the theme of the event, the Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences in Anambra University, Awka, Professor Stella Okunna, charged journalists to always abide by the ethics of the profession and to support democracy to ensure its growth in the right direction. Professor Okunna called on the government to give journalists free hand to operate and to provide them with security, as according to her, the profession is a risky one.
Press must do everything to support democracy and make sure it's growing in the right direction. And that's ethics. I should report with accuracy, with fairness, with probity, with transparency, and do things that will make democracy.
In a speech, the general manager of the Radio Nigeria, Purity FM, Awka, Mr. Gregory Odiakosa, maintained that the station established in 2005 is committed to rendering quality service to the people, soliciting government support to help them serve the Anambra better.
While the government can discount rich, vibrant, conventional and traditional new program content in Igbo, English and Pidgin.
In their various remarks, the chairman on the occasion, Prince Nicholas Okachukwu, represented by the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Anambra State Signage and Advertisement Agency, Chief Jude Emecheta, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Anambra Broadcasting Service, Mr. Uchenwora, congratulated the station on its 13th year anniversary and encouraged the management and staff to always work collectively for efficiency. The event also featured award presentations and cutting of the anniversary cake. In Awka, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
The Nigeria police has paraded 33 suspected members of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB for allegedly killing an inspector of police, injuring 3 others and setting a police vehicle ablaze at Newe. Our correspondent, Ekwiajide, fired on the report, taken from our studio.
It was a case of allegation and counter-allegation as the suspects were vocal about their innocence in the protest that led to the breakdown of law and order. According to Evangelist Sunday Ilonze, he was in his shop at Motorcycle Spare Parts Line doing his lawful business when some policemen came and asked him to enter the vehicle, saying that he initially refused, but since he was not perturbed, as he was not even at the scene of the incident, which happened at the beverage and foodstuff line, he entered the vehicle only to be accused of a crime he did not commit.
The thing happened just to intimidate us. The thing happened at F line. That place is where they are selling food items and rice and books and provisions. But our men, this is a gap. There is a gap there. And the policemen and army men came there in our line shooting everybody yesterday, the day before yesterday. And I saw them, I said I will not run. Why? Because I don't know what is happening. I'm a good citizen. I protect the law. How can I run away with something I do not know? I said I will not run.
For Mr. Vincent Okorafor, all the accused persons are innocent but were just being intimidated by the police. According to him, he is the choir leader of St. Matthew's Catholic Church in Newe and has just returned from a burial ceremony when his goods arrived, and he and his boy were arranging the goods when the police arrived, beat them mercilessly and bundled them into their vehicle.
All I am saying is that whatever somebody is doing in this world, let us remember that there is God. All of us here are innocent. None of us here does this thing. There is God. And anybody that wants to intimidate us will face the wrath before the Almighty God.
Briefing the press at the State Police Headquarters, Amobia, the first public relations officer, Mr. Jimo Moshud, said that the Inspector General of Police has directed the State Commissioner of Police to carry out intense search operations for the recovery of the 2 AK-47 rifles and a Beretta pistol with the ammunition snatched from the slain police inspector and other police officers wounded by the proscribed IPOB members, and worked towards arresting other fleeing suspects who participated in the ambush of the police personnel and bring them to justice. He said that the Nigerian police is deeply concerned with the security implications with regards to the renewed hostilities from the proscribed IPOB and the state, and the new trend of subversive propaganda from the group aimed at undermining law and order, warning that the force will not tolerate such lawlessness, adding that it will do everything within the ambit of the law to protect the people. Mr. Moshood urged the police to report any suspicious movement or association to the law enforcement agency.
Every Nigerian has the right, if anything is going on in the community, to equally come to the police and let them know that this is what we feel or this is the information we have. So we equally include them as part of our investigation if they come forward to do so. We have it on record that police promptly responded, and the police personnel were killed as at the time they arrived to respond and to prevent the group from causing mayhem on the innocent people of Umbra environment.
It will be recalled that traders at Nkwonewi Market had earlier protested the arrest of their members, while IPOB claims none of its members had been arrested.
Suspected herdsmen kill a 44-year-old man in Delta State. For those stories and more, stay behind as we go for a break. When we come back, these stories will come to you.
The Ministry of Youth Empowerment and Creative Economy and the Ministry of Basic Education cordially invite you to Anambra State Technical and Creativity Day, Anambra Talent Show Awards, exhibition of the major innovations in Anambra Technical Colleges, live performances. Chief host, His Excellency Chief Willie Obiano, Governor Anambra State. Hosts, Professor Kate Azuko Menoga, Honorable
Anambra Boston Service ABS presents
Made in Anambra TV.
Are you a talented singer, comedian, dancer, rapper, or a spoken word artist?
Have you got what it takes to be Anambra's most talented?
Then the Made in Anambra TV talent show is for you. With just 2,000 naira, you get to participate in one of the biggest talent shows in the South.
About 2018, venue Ibarioka West End, beside Old Balumba. You stand a chance of winning cash prizes, free publicity, and a platform.
So what are you waiting for?
This is...
Welcome back. Palace chiefs in Ogo Kingdom, Delta State had a hectic time last weekend preventing aggrieved members of the community from taking the corpse of a 54-year-old pipeline guard, Anthony Ejebare, reportedly killed by herdsmen into the palace. It was gathered that the 54-year-old man was killed by suspected herdsmen while trying to prevent his wife from being raped in her farm at Ejekota community of Uweli North local government area of the state. A community source said that aggrieved family members of the deceased, with support of some community members in protest, took the corpse to the palace of Ovio of Ogo Kingdom in what chiefs of the kingdom described as sacrilegious. They then took the corpse to Uweli Area Command, where they were met by senior officers who took the statement of the widow. A security source at the area command, who spoke on condition of anonymity, said from the statement given by the widow, who was the witness, she was accosted by an armed herdsman who asked her to put down the cassava stems she carried on her head in an attempt to rape her, else he was going to shoot her. According to her, while she was pleading with the gunman, her husband, who was stationed as a guard in a pipeline close to her farm, walked into them, and upon sighting the husband, the assailant shot him and fled into the bush. The Department of Petroleum Resources DPR Eket office says it had discovered 50 illegal filling stations in the state. Mr. Tamuni Mubo Kingsley Sondae, the operations controller of DPR in Akwa Ibom, made the disclosure in an interview with journalists. He explained that the illegal filling stations refused to obtain federal government licenses nor follow due process in their construction. He added that the filling stations were built without appropriate approval by the department and the state. He said that when building filling stations, there are things that are considered such as engineering design, safety, earth considerations, and social economy of the area. He condemned marketers that build filling stations that share boundaries with markets, schools, hospitals, saying that such stations would affect the economy of the area. He warned marketers that citing filling stations before coming to DPR for consideration to desist from it. He said that the department had sensitized the marketers who are involved to come to DPR office for reassessment and appropriate documentation. Kingsley Sondaye said that the department was working with law enforcement agencies and the state government to dismantle illegal filling stations in the state. He noted that owners of such stations have violated the Petroleum Act of 1969, which says that nobody can sell or store petroleum products in Nigeria without federal government license. Germany's banana museum, based in the far north of the country, has burned to the ground. The fire, which broke out on Monday for reasons still unknown, was so extensive that the museum could not be saved, a police spokesman said. There were gas canisters stored in the building, according to the spokesman, who, however, could not say if explosions occurred during the blaze. Banana-obsessed collector Bernhard Sermacher opened the museum dedicated to his favorite fruit in the coastal village of Sickerdorf in the northern state of Schleswig-Holstein in 1991. The museum cited itself as the first banana museum in Germany. Among the exhibits were bananas made of wood, plaster, soft material, and amber. Still from the foreign scene, Russia seized 3 Ukrainian naval ships off the coast of Russia-annexed Crimea after opening fire on them and wounding several sailors, a move that risks igniting a dangerous new crisis between the two countries. Russia's FSB security service said its border patrol boats captured the Ukrainian naval vessels in the Black Sea and used weapons to force them to stop, according to media reports. The FSB said it had been forced to act because the ships, 2 small Ukrainian armored artillery vessels and the tugboats illegally entered its territorial waters, attempted illegal actions, and ignored warnings to stop while maneuvering dangerously. President Petro Poroshenko, the Ukrainian leader, met high-ranking military aides after the incident and said he would propose that parliament impose martial law. The United Nations Security Council is due to discuss the development at the request of Russia, said Deputy Russian UN Ambassador Dmitry Poryansky. According to the Ukrainian army, 6 sailors were wounded when a Russian ship fired on Ukraine's vessels near the Kerch Strait, a narrow sea passage close to Crimean Peninsula that separates the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov. The incident followed a naval standoff that escalated when Moscow placed a large cargo ship beneath the 19-kilometer-long Crimean bridge, which connects the Russian-annexed peninsula with its mainland, blocking all traffic into the strait, the only passage into the Sea of Azov. And on sports this morning, the Swiss city of Zurich is finally set to get a purpose-built football stadium after voters gave the green light to the project in a local referendum. The Zurich city government said that 54% of voters were in favor of building an 18,000-capacity stadium. It will be built on the site of the old Harttorn ground, which was closed and demolished in 2007. Zurich is the home city of football's governing body FIFA. The stadium will be chaired by local clubs Grasshoppers and FC Zurich and will be privately financed, the clubs have said. In a previous referendum in 2013, voters rejected plans to build the stadium using public money. The 2 clubs currently use the Riesengrad Athletic Stadium as their home ground, but the venue is often criticized for its lukewarm atmosphere and for the distance between spectators and the pitch. The old Harttorn Stadium was opened in 1929, was home only to Grasshoppers, and hosted matches at the 1954 World Cup. Grasshoppers have won a record 27 Swiss titles, but none since they moved to Riesengrad. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by logging on to our website, www.absradiotv.com. You can like us at Facebook at www.facebook.com/ABSRadioTelevision. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. Before we go, there are the main points again. The third phase of the state government's Community Choose Your Project initiative will commence early next year. Governor Obiano disclosed this while inaugurating ultra-modern town hall facility at Umbra, an local government area. JDPC has embarked on sensitization of flood-affected persons on harmonious coexistence. Suspected herdsmen have killed 54-year-old man at Ughelli, Delta State. And on the foreign scene, we've told you that Russia has 6 Ukrainian ships near annexed Crimea. Those are the stories for this morning. I am David Okpokwasile. Good morning, Anambra is next.